Are you ready to learn to get rid of stress in your life? To learn how to deal with the emotional turmoil that causes strokes, heart attacks, bad health, and even weight gain? Life-changing habits for work, family, and everyone you deal with start here with Andrew Wittman. It's time to get Warrior Tough on WCCP 105.5 The Roar. Here's Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman.
I'm having a hard time saying get Warrior Tough because I'm looking at Dutch. He looks like Papa Smurf in his mushroom cottage. He's in a big fluffy chair in front of a fireplace, all warm and snuggly. Dude, you are the man. You got your turtleneck on. You guys, you gotta go to the YouTube video and check this out because Dutch has raised his game. He's into this giant lazy boy. Dude, you look awesome.
I had a meeting earlier today trying to get some people prepared to be mentally trained by the Get Warrior Tough culture. And so I had to look a little spiffy today.
Well, you do, man. You look spiffy. Of course, I'm always happy when I see you.
Likewise.
All right. So, hey, man, if you guys want to join us on the Twitter conversation, use the hashtag #GetWarriorTough. You can find Dutch, as always, at the Dutch Coleman, and I am at Warrior Tough PhD, Warrior Tough PhD. So, and also go to the website, check out GetWarriorTough.com, fill in your name and your email address in the Start Now box, get all of our latest, newest stuff, and go to the YouTube page, the YouTube channel, and subscribe so you never miss out on a video. Go to the Facebook page. Just find a handle and click on. Oh, also, when you go to the web page, right, you'll see that there's Android and Apple apps. You guys need to, download that. You'll get our shows, every week. They're running 24/7, but, every Thursday the show goes out. You can catch it right there, or you can use the TuneIn app to go to the Get Warrior Tough Network, and you'll find us there.
So Dutch, there's no excuses.
No excuses at all, man. And also, Dutch, starting December 1st, it's only a couple weeks away, we're going to start the Phalanx coaching calls. And the Phalanx is more than just the coaching calls. There's a ton that goes with it. But I'm very excited about this, Dutch. And we got folks signed up for it, and there's room for more, and there's always room for one. How much room do you have? Always room for one more. That's what we say in the warrior culture.
I tell you, the Phalanx is always interesting to me because we get to be more specific with the questions and the solutions. So you guys get to bring in, what's actually going on in your life, your situation, because the how-to, we've said it a million times, the how-to is the most important in all of this. The how-to. You've seen it done a bunch of different ways. You've heard it presented a bunch of different ways, but the Get Warrior Tough culture and how we present it is going to be different, but the icing on the cake is the how-to, the application, and how we help you along with that.
No, and you're absolutely right. And this is where we can take the time with you, and this is where the coaching really happens, man. It does, like you said, in the, the broader, in the seminars or the training. I mean, that's great that you get the information, but this is where the feedback loop happens, is in the Phalanx, and this is where you are going to make most of your course corrections. You're going to learn more. It'll be it's hard to explain. You got to experience it. So call the office at 864-977-1443 and get some more information about it and join the Phalanx. And Dutch and I, we're looking forward to talking with you every Tuesday night starting December 1st from 7:30 to 8:30. And, of course, if you don't make the call, it's all right because we're going to record them. And then as a member of the Phalanx, you'll have access to that recording, the MP3. Also, if you're on the call and you can't take notes fast enough and you just want to go back and listen to some of that coaching again, you'll be able to do that. And that's invaluable to be able to go back and listen to because here's what the stats say, Dutch, is that you have to hear something 7 times on average before you can recall it.
And that's real. I was just talking to my daughter about that, and I just mentioned it to Jack before the break. Even if you, increase your exposures to any material, at some point it's going to become a second nature. So with increased exposures in anything, it's going to become more natural to you. So if you get the recording, even if you were on the call live, I encourage you to go back and listen to the recording maybe a couple times just to let it soak in.
Absolutely, and that's going to be an MP3, so you could just download it on your phone or whatever. You could, listen to it in your car, wherever you're at, on your iPad, your tablet, whatever it is. So we're queuing it up for you, man. It's so easy with the technology now to take this with you. And I saw Subway had a commercial for life coach. The guy was wearing a helmet, right? It was very funny. You don't need a life coach, but you need a couple Get Warrior Tough mental toughness coaches that help you get through the day, and we'll do that. All right, buddy, let's talk about the rankings, man. I love it. Right, here we go. Another week on top. The Tigers are on top, man. The Clemson Tigers, because everybody is a Tiger, it seems like, in the, how many Tigers are in the SEC, let alone the ACC. But so this is exciting, dude.
Yeah, 3 for 3 so far. 3 weeks. We're at the top 3 weeks in a row. And I think everyone realizes the goal is to be in it. You can't win it if you're not in it. So I've tried to convince myself not to be fixated with number one, even though everyone loves that number one.
Yeah.
Just getting in the game is all that matters. And I think right now we're firmly entrenched at number one. So it's going to take some things that are in our control to knock us from number one. It's going to take out of the top 4, I should say. It's going to take a loss by us, something that we can control, to knock us out of the top 4. Now, other people's wins can possibly knock us to 2 or 3. That's going to be largely based on opinion, resume, and all that. But I really believe that it's going to take a loss, something that we control, to knock us out of the top 4.
Yeah, so I think we're good if we just keep our eye, because we can only focus on one. The eye can only focus on one thing at a time. We just got to stay focused and stay focused and stay focused. Which brings me to my next thing: is I think what happened with Ronda Rousey is that she wasn't focused and she was running around doing a bunch of other stuff. And we saw this Rampage. He got beat after he did the A-Team thing. He filmed for the A-Team, and then he lost. And then she's running around doing all kind of everything but training, or trying to train in between. She's not focused. And Holly Holmes is totally focused, and we saw the result.
Yeah, and I can't stress it enough. Focus. And also the some of the things that can distract from focus. You mentioned all the different activities outside of the ring. Sometimes when your attitude shifts, I thought she had a poor attitude in some cases that may have contributed to that. That's not something that's a fact. That's just a feeling that I had that may have contributed to it. But when you add all these different things in, then you can come up with a problem. So one of those things alone may not be enough to derail you. But when you add all these different components in together, in totality, it can be enough to maybe shift your focus out of line just enough to get beat.
Right, and this is some of the things that we talk about in the Warrior Tough culture, and when we're in our process in our program in the Phalanx, you'll learn more about this. But it's always the difference between great and good or very good is just a series of very subtle differences. It's not just one thing, and it's not a huge thing. It's a bunch of little tiny razor thin things that you would not think, but when you start adding them up, it's the difference between great and then your performance drops to where you're off that number one spot. Yeah,
and it's real. We've seen it play out in a lot of different ways, and I think Rhonda had some. She had some I was going to say she had some waking up to do, but she was actually put to sleep.
Yeah.
I hope that she comes back focused. I hope she comes back laser sharp for her own health, because it's not any fun getting knocked out. But a lot of times that success, and we see it with the Clemson Tigers, we see Dabo speaking, trying to keep that stuff from happening. But that success, even before the ultimate success, the success before the ultimate success can keep you from getting to the ultimate success. That success.
Right. So, there's a lot of success in there.
Yeah, I think she may have bumped into some things along the way. Again, the commercials, the movies. She did movies and all that stuff, the appearances. And but again, those are things you can recover from. Those are things you can fix, because it's mental. And that's the best thing about mental. Mental can take you a bunch of places. It can knock you down, but you can recover quicker mentally, in my opinion, than you can physically, because you can change your mindset with some training, but it takes longer for a bone to mend or for ACL to be repaired and things like that.
Right.
A few exercises, mental exercises, and you get something, you can move on quicker.
Yeah, you really. It is very. If you dial in, you can very quickly change it, and then you have to stay on top of it, because here's what happens: is that you think you're getting a good mindset, and then you stop paying attention to it. It's like not going to the gym for a while, and you think. This happens with guys. When I'm a contractor and I train dudes to go overseas, they come off active duty, And so they're eating like they're still working out and running 5 miles a day or 10 miles a day and lifting and burning 10,000 calories a day. And they don't do that when they're not, going on the line. So they come off active duty. Before we pick them up as a contractor, there's a gap where they're still eating like they're working out. And in their mind, they've been working out, but they've been letting it slip to not that intensity. And so they gain weight really quick, right? So this is what happens with the mindset. You think, hey, man, I'm on top of this stuff. And then if you let it slip, next thing you know, within, just a very short amount of time, your mindset has changed and you're not even aware of it anymore.
Oh yeah, and that's the worst time when things like this happen. You get a call saying we need you back, and instead of being ready and primed, you're out there and you're getting hurt, you're getting injured, you're getting somebody else hurt. So you should always, I always say that the physical fitness, the mental health, and all those things shouldn't be tied to a job or an activity, but it should be tied to who you are and who you want to be. So when you work on things like your vision, your identity statement, and stuff like that, it's irrespective of any job or any assignment. It's about you and who you want to be and what you want to be and how far you want to go as an individual. So you stay intact and ready for anything.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that, man. That's why I stay in shape, and I work on even when I'm not going downrange. I could deploy tomorrow if I had to, not a problem. I'm always ready. But it's because of like you said, it's part of my internal identity. It's part of who I am, and it's always been like that. Since I joined the Marine Corps, I decided that I didn't want, because my story, man. I was the fat kid in high school. I lost 50 pounds in boot camp. I didn't want to be that anymore. I didn't want to be, mentally soft and physically soft and emotionally, just raw.
And in the same way, though, that those poor things affected everything in your life, the excellent thing that you became affects everything in your life. So when you fix things at the core, especially for all the right reasons and all the right ways, it affects everything in your life the same way the poor habits and the poor stuff did. So that's the good thing about it.
Right. And I think that we could see this not just with the Ronda Rousey thing, but I think you see it in other athletes. Now it's exposed in her area because she's not a member of a team. So it's all her. But I think that there's other people that have reached that championship. This is why it's so hard to repeat. This is why Super Bowl champs, it's so hard to repeat. It's so hard to repeat championships because you start having that level of success. Then you have to start doing, you got to strike while the iron's hot, right? So when your brand is at the top, you got to go do the endorsements. You got to do the interviews. You have to do it while the opportunity is there, but it distracts you from taking care of business.
Yep, it's more proof positive that it doesn't take much for that focus to shift ever so slightly. And when you add in the other different areas that generally come with championships, it's just enough to knock you off that spot, just enough for that hungry team that's coming to get you.
Absolutely, and that's just a danger that Dabo and the Clemson Tigers are facing. When you're number one, every time you walk into a stadium, it's that team's Super Bowl. It's that team's national championship. It's you're just trying to get through it and get to the next level and walk out of there with a win and stay healthy. But for them, it's their national championship game because they're playing number one.
Yep, they're who you were the year before. If you had coming off a championship, they're that Tiger, no pun intended, that you were before you start feeling the success. So they're coming to get you, and you got to be ready and you got to be aware that that's the biggest thing. When you're aware that they're coming to get you, you're looking around every corner. You're prepared for whatever threat that's coming. You're prepared for it. But when you lose focus, that's when you get blindsided. And I think that's what happens to a lot of teams on the path on the road to a title, and immediately after winning a title.
Okay, so now in your experience and now I know this is just your opinion, it's the truth, whatever. But I value what you think, Dutch. When we're looking at the Tigers this year. Are we on track? Are we on track? Are we there? Can we keep the focus for the next, whatever it is, 6 weeks? Can we get there?
Yes, I see no signs that anything's falling apart. Now, I did see some injuries. We do have some minor injuries. I've heard that we may sit some people out this week, and I don't know if that's a fact yet. To get them shored up. We've seen other teams do that. As a matter of fact, we saw Florida State do it the week prior to playing us.
Right.
They sat a couple of big name players, so we may do some things like that. And the kids need it. They've been going full steam ahead for all these consecutive weeks, so sometimes that they need that reboot. So I don't see any signs of trouble ahead, but you never know until it hits you.
Right, but I think that this game, that the Wake Forest thing coming up, that this is the game to do that and try to heal up some, because and not waste the energy. But we have to start, and I said this on Quack Show this week, that you got to start ramping up. The kick is happening. It's like the Olympic sprinter. You have to start kicking, and they have to start seeing themselves as champions, and really dial in on the focus and on the emotion of it. Be very clear that it not just why can it be them, but it needs to be them. It should be them, and they are going to go take it.
Yep, I'm with you.
All right, man. So we got to go to break, and we'll be right back. And, hey, when we get back, I want to talk a little bit about the Peyton Manning stuff. Is that all right?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right.
Do you want to be Warrior Tough? Do you want your employees to be Warrior Tough too? With abilities to handle difficult situations as a well-oiled machine? Andrew Wittman has been teaching leadership, discipline, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and mental toughness for 30 years. His seminars build strong working relationships, high-performance teams, effective communication in crisis, and conflict management skills. He'll change the way you look at yourself, your company, your job, your life. He is dynamic, engaging, and stimulating in his presentation, and he can help you build and develop the leadership skills and high-performance skills needed for your team. He'll give you the tools that will not only increase the positive product output in business, but in your personal life as well. To get complete information on how Andrew can help you, call 864-977-1772 or log on to GetWarriorTough.com.